That's what my watch says.
I sent him a message and I sent them to you.
Okay. I didn't compare them.
Hold on. I can,
There we go.
that's what I have.
The queue, you know, all the fanfare.
Oh.
Good evening and welcome to the Redevelopment Authority meeting for October 9th. I want to begin the meeting by calling it to order, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would the clerk please call the roll? Oh, do you call it or we call it?
All are present.
Awesome,
I
great.
don't normally do it when there's just 2 or 3 people. We're good. Everybody's here.
Read
Thank
to
you.
the minutes of the last meeting, please.
We don't read the minutes of the last meeting. You just approve them.
Okay, all right. I need a motion to approve the minutes. Do
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I have a second?
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The minutes are approved. There is no old business at this point, so we'll move on to new business. New business will now open up the public hearing on appropriation of additional proceeds, which will be Resolution 208.
If I may, Mr. President and Authority, I think Mayor Gentry is going to talk a little bit about Phase 2 of the downtown project while we're here. And
that's absolutely
fine. Maybe appropriate to hear a little background before we get started with the public hearing.
Mr. Mayor, the floor is yours.
Thank you, board members. So tonight before you is the Phase 2 of our downtown project. When we initially thought about this idea, we wanted to do the 3 sides of the square, and then as well as the construction of the extension of the trail from its current trailhead on Patterson Street, connect that to the downtown, kind of as one bid out of that project. When we went through the bidding process, there's a lot of construction going on in Indiana right now, so unfortunately those bids came in a little higher than we had hoped they would at that time. So we made the decision to kind of separate the project into 2 separate bid projects. So we obviously are moving forward on our first phase of our downtown. We're completing those 3 sides, and then now this is now step 2, which would then take the Big 4 Trail west from its current where it stops on Main Street and take it along this other side of Main Street to Patterson Street. It would then turn north to connect to where the rail corridor is, where it currently is. So again, connecting the trail to the downtown. And also, as part of this project, it is a total road reconstruction of West Main Street. So also addressing the curbs, drainage, new road surface, new water mains. Essentially, again, a similar type project we did on East Street last year. So, but it kind of ties in with our downtown and with the type of project there to make it into one project. So this is just the Phase 2 of that same downtown project, and went through that same public design process, getting feedback from the community, taking those ideas and then turning it into this project. So any questions for that?
When is the time frame for that part?
Yeah, so the time frame always has been to do the physical downtown, the 3 sides this year, and then the plan was to do the Main Street portion of this project in 2019. That's still the same timeline we're thinking about. Obviously, we're coming close in our downtown now, so we're kind of thinking ahead now to 2019. The goal will be to move this forward tonight at Redevelopment Commission and then as well at City Council. Put the bids out here later in October, and then we'd be able to begin construction in next spring.
Are there any other questions from the Commission or the Authority?
I will mention too, in the bid documents that we are developing, we will have kind of bid tabs in that. So we have an estimated construction cost of roughly $4.5 million. However, that can be broken out or scaled back based on what the bids come back in at. So we can kind of eliminate some of the more decorative items, things like that. So it can be right sized to fit the project based on what the bids come back in at right now.
I don't have any other questions. I appreciate your time, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Board.
So, Mr. President and Authority, we also have bond counsel here, Ms. Catherine Finello, and the financial advisor, Emma Adlam from Umball, if you'd like to hear any of the aspects that's before us here in the resolution 2018-02, before we open the public hearing.
You want to hear the resolution first, then we go to council? Okay.
I'm sorry, did you open the public hearing yet? If you did, I missed
No,
it.
we're going to
You did?
go ahead and
Okay.
wait and just have you at least give us a background.
All right. So as the mayor explained the project, the resolution you have before you today is to authorize the execution of a lease between the Redevelopment Authority and the Redevelopment Commission to lease the project. This is the exact same structure that we used for Phase 1. And Emma can speak to all of the financial portions, but your resolution here authorizes the issuance of bonds by the Redevelopment Authority, the execution and approval of the lease, and once you open and close your public hearing, and then consider the resolution, you'll also be appropriating the bond proceeds.
Okay. Questions? All right.
Okay. Did you have any questions for Emma?
Not offhand, no. Okay. All right, so do we want to read the resolution and open the public hearing?
Yeah, I'm happy to do it.
Okay, let's read the resolution. Whoa. Oh, open the public hearing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine, Mr. President, if you want to just open and close the public hearing. The resolution, and we'll get into it in a little more detail here.
Absolutely, we can do that. So, all right, so at this time it is 5:07. I'm going to open up the public hearing. If anyone has any interest to come forward, state your name, address. I will not close it until someone comes forward. All right, it is 5:08. I will now close the public hearing. Do what?
Do we have a second? Do we need it?
No.
No, just open and close it, so. Okay, all right. So with that, we'll now read the resolution.
Mr. President, Authority, so you've seen Resolution 2018-02, and as we discussed a few minutes ago, this is a rather lengthy resolution, so I won't read it word for word, but and this is also similar, as Ms. Finello indicated, similar structure that we had seen a few months ago with Phase 1 of the downtown project. So resolution of the Lebanon Redevelopment Authority authorizes the issuance of the lease rental bonds for the authority, the execution of the lease, and the additional appropriation of bond proceeds, and authorizes other actions in connection therewith. So pursuant to the act, again, the Redevelopment Authority is proposing to issue bonds in one or more series in an amount not to exceed $5,750,000, as the mayor indicated. That cost, the construction cost may be less depending upon what actual bids are going to be accepted. And these will be called the Series 2018A Downtown Project Phase 2 bonds, okay? The lease rentals payable under the lease by the commission, the Redevelopment Commission, will be on parity with the lease rentals payable by the commission under their various other projects that are all enumerated in this resolution, and they're rather lengthy in here. And then Section 1, this Redevelopment Authority is going to approve the proposed lease in the form that's presented at this meeting, and that was attached as Exhibit A. The Secretary of the Authority is authorized and directed to initial and date a copy of the proposed lease and to place it in the minute book. The President and the Secretary of the Authority are authorized and directed to execute, deliver the lease with any changes and modifications therewith. The authority is authorized to issue and sell the bonds in an amount, again, not to exceed $5.75 million. The bonds shall be issued in accordance with and secured by an indenture, substantially in the form that's also been presented at this meeting. The bonds are authorized to be sold by public or negotiated sale as either an underwriting or private placement to a purchaser or purchasers. The authority approves the preliminary plans and the specifications and all the cost estimates for the project. And any member of the authority is authorized and directed in the name and on behalf of the authority to deem final and official statement with respect to the bonds, and that's all pursuant to SEC rule. Bear with me here. There are several. So the authority is authorized and directed to obtain a legal opinion as to the validity of the bonds if issued from Krieg DeVault, and the authority is authorized and directed to take such actions and to execute and deliver any such agreements and instruments as they deem advisable to obtain a rating or bond insurance for the bonds. The authority shall accept transfer of any all necessary interest in the real estate. The authority directs the President and the Secretary or Treasurer to enter into any agency agreement with the Board of Works to provide for the construction of the project. Again, similar type of project or structure that we had in phase 1 of the project. After the sale of the bonds, any member of the authority is authorized to execute and deliver any such documents and to take any such actions as the person deems necessary or desirable to carry out the transactions contemplated by this resolution. And the authority approves a sum not to exceed, once again, of $5,750,000 out of the proceeds of the bond to pay for the cost of the project. And this resolution shall be in full force in effect immediately upon passage and signing.
All right, thank you. Resolution is considered read. Are there any questions on the resolution? Yes, I look for a motion to approve resolution. Yeah,
2018-37.
2018-37.
Actually, -02.
I make a motion to approve Resolution 2018-02.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Resolution 2018-02 passes. Okay. With that, I don't see any other business before us. Is there any other new business? All right. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Make the motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We are hereby adjourned.
You didn't vote.
I voted yes for all that.